So the first thing I want to talk about, and I think we're now moving over to section 4 of the book. Yeah, section 4. So 3 types of traffic. So the first thing I want to talk about again is coming back to this, right? Who, where, bait, where, okay? So we talked a lot about who is the person you ideally want to sell to, right? We talked a lot about that, figuring out your customer avatar, finding their Google image picture, getting a perfect description of whoever your dream client is, okay? We talked a lot about that. We talked a little bit about bait. Tomorrow is going to be a lot more about bait. And we talked about where, your back-end program, where are you going to take this person to? Where are you sending him to? Where is your dream with them? So right now, for the rest of today, we're going to be focusing on where. Where are these people at? Because if you can find those people, it makes this whole world, your whole marketing job a lot easier. And so when I first started understanding this, and I first got in this internet business, the hard thing is that if you look at what everybody's selling online, right? All the internet marketing gurus, they're selling 1,000 different ways to drive traffic, right? Every day there's new product. Here's how to do it on Facebook, on Twitter, on blah, blah, and there's like so much stuff. I think most people get so overwhelmed because they're trying to learn how to drive traffic from 1,000 different sources, and they're just like, yeah, what do I do, right? And so for me, like, I'm not going to dig into the technical part how to do it, but I want you guys to understand the concept behind it. Because for me, the second I grasped the concept, from that point forward in my life, I was always able to get traffic. Okay, and so the strategy behind this is more important than the tactics of how you do it. Okay, so when I'm doing this process, there's a couple initial questions I ask myself, and the first one comes back to over here: is who is my target market? Okay, and we talked a lot about that, so I'm not going to beat that with a dead horse. But you really have to know exactly who that person is. Okay, in the how to make money market, the person that the who that I always kind of look at, it was me when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, some of you guys have probably heard the story before, but I literally would collect junk mail. I would go and I used to get Small Business Opportunity magazine. You guys, who here subscribed to that magazine? If you're not, you should seriously get a subscription. It's like the best magazine in the world. It's 140 pages, 4 pages of articles, and 136 pages of ads. Okay, yeah. And for dudes like me, I love it. Like the ads is like, that's the gold, right? You read everyone's headlines and how they write their ads. And so I literally was like 12 years old when I got my first copy. And that's a bad idea to give a 12-year-old like Small Business magazine. Because you're reading and you're like, oh my gosh. Oh. Anyway, I'd read every single ad, and I would always call the 800 number at the end and like, hey, can you send me your free kit? Hey, can you send me your free kit? And so eventually, I was getting so many free kits in the mail from every opportunity in the world that the mailman would show up with a stack of mail so big it would not physically fit in my parents' mailbox. And so the mailman had to come up to the door, knock on the door, and hand my parents a stack of junk mail this big. And so I'd come home from school in like, what was it, 7th, 8th, 8th grade? I'd come home from school, and there'd be a big stack of Russell's junk mail, and then my parents had like 1 or 2 letters. I'd be so excited. I'd grab this big stack of junk mail. I'd go in my room, and I'd open it. I'd be reading sales letters after sales letters. And that's probably where I got into this whole thing from. But I just got addicted to that concept, right? And I'd read these things. I remember some of them I'm like, oh, that's dumb. Oh, that's dumb. And some of them I'd be like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. I got to like asking my parents, like, can I borrow $100? I need $100 to be able to do this. Like, they would sell me on the next thing. And so whenever I'm trying to create like an opportunity type product, I think back to like when I was this little kid and I was struggling and I wanted to make money so bad. And I think like would that have been something that I would have like been attracted to? Okay, that's what I always look at. So for you guys, think about like whenever it was you got into whatever you do, like what was the things that attracted you to that? Okay, and if you think about that, that's why I decided if an offer is good or bad. Okay, and then when we're on our weight loss stuff, I think about like when I need to lose a lot of weight, like what were the things that, like would that have got me to get up and to move? So again, the first thing is just really understanding who your person is. And then the second thing is understanding where those people are at. Okay, those are the 2 key questions of traffic. Who is my target market and where are those people at? Okay, for example, probably the best way to illustrate this is when you hear the word congregation, what do you guys think of? Church, right? So every Sunday, all the people that have similar beliefs and values will congregate together, right? So all of the Mormons, we congregate together in certain churches, right? All of the Baptists congregate over here, and the Catholics congregate over here, okay? On Saturday, the Seventh-day Adventists are over here, okay? Everyone's congregating together based on similar beliefs and values and ideals, and they're hanging out together. Okay, now when I understand that people are congregating, if I'm a marketer and I want to sell something, let's say I'm selling something like for the Mormon world, there's these guys that sell these things called Living Scriptures, these DVDs they made of like all of the Mormon stuff, right? Where do you sell it? Like, where's the existing congregation? They're right there. They're hanging out together every Sunday. If you're going to sell something, like that's where they're at, okay? If you're selling something to the Baptists, they're every week they're together, they're congregated, like that's where they're at. Just go sell, like they're right there, go, right? And When I understood that, I started thinking about that. And my goal is not to try to tell you guys to go to churches and sell stuff. Although you could. But my goal is to help you understand the power of congregation, because before the internet, people couldn't congregate together. Okay, the power of the internet is that people all of a sudden can start congregating together based on their beliefs and their values. For example, if you're a wrestler, and I know this because when I wrestled at Boise State, every night we all had mandatory study hall for 2 hours because almost every wrestler flunked out of school. I don't know what it is with wrestlers. Like, we are dumb people. Like literally, so they forced us to go to 2 hours of study hall every single night. And so at study hall, they had a bunch of computers, and you watch the entire wrestling team would come up there. We'd sit down, and guess what? Every single one of us went to the exact same website. We went to themat.com. There was a message board, and for 2 hours every single night, every single one of us sat there and we talked on themat.com to other wrestlers. And this was happening at every single university in America. It's happening at every single high school. It's happening, like, anyone who cared about wrestling every night was on the mat. Am I right, Brandon? Everyone's there, right? So if I'm going to be selling something to wrestlers, where am I going to look at? Themat.com. They're all congregated together. They're sitting there all day, all night talking about wrestling. That's where they're at. So all I got to do is throw my bait out into that pond and start pulling people in. Okay? Think about the things that you're passionate about. Okay? If you're into personal development, what sites do you go to? Where are you congregating? Okay? If you're into real estate, where are you congregating at? Okay? Think about your target customer. Where are they at? Where are they hanging out? What blogs are they reading? What email newsletters are they on? What Facebook groups are they part of? I start going through all these different things, and as soon as I know that, like, they're all on Facebook and they're all on this fan page. Okay, if I'm selling a juicing product, Drew Canoli's got 1.1 million people who are interested in juicing sitting there, congregating, talking about juicing. Where should I go to sell my juicing product? Shiloh, there's a site with 1 million people talking about juicing all day long. Boom, there they're at. I'll tell you for now, a little extra money. There's tons of them, though. And it's not just Drew Canoli's. There's other guys, and there's probably 1,000 sites now based on it. But that's the power of the internet, guys. That's why little guys like us can make insane amounts of money, because we don't have to spend money driving TV and all these kind of things. When we were doing consulting stuff with Tony Robbins, what was interesting is he told me, Russell, when I first started this business, he said there were 3 channels. It was ABC, NBC, and CBS. That was it. Everyone was watching one of those 3 channels. So guess what I did? I bought ads in all 3. And we made millions of dollars. And all of a sudden, like, all these cable shows started popping up. And suddenly there was like 1,000 different channels. He's like, I could not afford to advertise because and it was too expensive to acquire customers, and we had to cut everything. And so he's freaking out, like, I can't grow my business because it's so expensive because they're everything out there. So he started shifting his marketing online. Okay, online's powerful because I can only show my message. Like, if I buy an ad during the Super Bowl and I'm selling my how to make a potato gun product, okay, there may be 18 bajillion people watching it, but there's only 3 guys who want to buy my potato gun product. Okay, unless I'm selling a thing for like $800,000 a piece, I'm not going to make my money back, right? But I can go online and find a potato gun group with 20,000 people who are rabid talking about potato guns, and they're sitting in one little congregation hanging out. I just throw my bait in the water and start pulling out money. Boom, all day long, right? And that's what traffic is, you guys. It's not SEO, PPC, all this crap that all these terms that everyone's coming up with. And that's the tactics behind how you do it. But none of you guys as entrepreneurs should know how to do that. Who here thinks I know how to run a Facebook ad? I'm scared to death of Facebook. I told you earlier, I never, ever, 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 ever log in. We make insane amounts of money off Facebook. Okay? Who here thinks I know how to buy an email ad? I don't know how to, but I don't. Okay? Your job as entrepreneurs is not to understand the tactics behind it. There's geniuses who do the tactics all day long, and you can hire them for pennies on the dollar. Your job as an entrepreneur is to understand very, very clear exactly who your person is and where they're at. And after you know that this is where they're at, now we got to figure out how to get our bait out in front of them. Now I can hire a guy to do it, or I can figure it out. It doesn't matter, but they're right there. That's what they're sitting right there. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, is what they call it? Ducks in a barrel? I don't know. But they're all right there. Okay? Do you guys get that? That's the power of this whole internet thing. That's why people like me who are not that intelligent can make millions and millions of dollars, because I know 2 things. I know who my target market is, and I know exactly where they're at. So your job as entrepreneurs is to be the master of these 2 things. Understanding this person better than anyone else in the world, knowing exactly where they're at, and the last step is where are you going to take these people? Okay, this is all the value ladder stuff. Now that I got them, I need to get bait to get them in the door, and let's take them. Where can I take these guys to? How can I help them? How much more value can I provide them? Because the more value I can provide them, the more money I'm going to make, and the more help I'm going to give to them. It's really cool. Isn't that kind of a cool process when you understand that? Okay, so quit worrying about all the. That's why on this event, you will never learn the tactical parts of it because the tactics change every single day, and you're always chasing and you're running, and it's just, that's not the focus. The focus of entrepreneurship is to do this part, okay? If you were to go ask a building contractor, you're like, hey man, so tell me how you put all the electrical wires in. He's looking and be like, I hired the electrician, right? You're like, well, okay, that makes sense. Well, how do you do all of the foundation stuff? Hire the foundation guy. Oh, okay. That makes sense, you guys? The contractor doesn't know how to do all that crap. Guess what he knows how to do? He knows how to contract it out. Guess what I know how to do? I know where my people are at. I just contract it out. Hey, they're right there. Go get them. Sweet, man. There's some more over there. Oh, I found this cool Facebook page. Oh, I just do what I'm doing all day long, and I find cool places, and then I have my team, I have people in place, and just say, hey, go get them. There they're at. Boom, and we start going after them, okay? That's what I want for you guys as well, okay? It should not be, and there's things you're going to have to learn, especially when you're getting started. Obviously, you got to do a lot of this yourself. But the reality is if you get so caught up in the technical part, and I did this, I can't tell you how many times I got caught up trying to learn SEO, and man, I went on like this 3-year SEO binge where I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and I was studying stuff, and we spent so much time and energy and money. We built teams of people, and I don't think we ever made a penny off of, like literally we got so tied up in the tactics. And then Facebook came around, and I was like, there's my people, and we hired someone like, hey man, can you just go get them? And boom, leads start coming like crazy. I was like, that was way easier. So much easier. And so that's what I really want to stress for you guys is that process, okay? All right, so that's the first, is who and where. The second thing is you have to understand there's 3 types of traffic. Okay, and this is another one of the big keys, the big ahas that I had. When I remember I had this, I was like, wow, this all becomes really, really easy now. Okay, the first type of traffic is traffic that you control. Okay, so I have this traffic, I control it. So an example of traffic I control is a Facebook ad. I don't own that traffic, Facebook does, right? This is Facebook's people, they're on Facebook, but I can buy an ad so I can control that traffic and say, hey, go right there. Okay, I can go to Google and buy a pay-per-click ad. Google owns that traffic, it's their people, but I can buy an ad, I can control that traffic and send it over here. Okay, I can go, somebody else has an email list of 1 million people that I know are my target market. I can go to that guy and say, hey, we buy an ad and send it over here. So he goes and he sends it over here. So I don't own that traffic, right? But I control it. So paid ads is traffic we control. We can pay money and tell people where to push that traffic. Okay, that's traffic you control. Typically, you're always going to push traffic you control through something we call a squeeze page. We'll talk about here in a minute. The second type of traffic is traffic you don't control. Okay. A couple examples of that is like SEO. Okay, anyone here ever tried to do SEO? Hope you guys, anyone here love SEO? Nobody loves it, especially after the last year or 2 or 3. Anyway, so SEO is traffic I don't really control. I do a bunch of stuff and I hope for stuff, but like people just randomly show up or they don't show up. I'm not controlling. I'm hoping and praying. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Probably the best example of this is I remember this is probably 5 or 6 years ago, back when BJ was working for me doing my SEO. Back when we were trying to figure it out. And one of my friends, Willie Crawford, had written an email saying, and the title of his email was Russell Brunson is a little snot. And I remember reading, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. So I copied his email and just posted it on my blog, and I put it up there and didn't think much about it. And 2 days later, BJ comes to my office kind of laughing. He's like, hey, you want to see something funny? I'm like, yeah, what's that? He's like, go into Google, type in little snot. I'm like, why? He's like, just go try it out, go check it out. So I type in little snot, and guess who's ranked #1 in Google for the keyword little snot? I was. My blog was #1 on Google for little snot, and I was so proud of myself. Now, what's interesting is there's probably someone somewhere, maybe, probably not, but if somebody happened to go to Google and type in little snot, and all of a sudden they see my site, and they click on it, they show up my site, that person got to my site, I didn't control them, I have no idea what made them wake up that morning and type in little snot, but it worked, and they showed up at my site. Okay? That's an example of traffic you don't control. Another good one is a lot of Facebook, paid Facebook ads, I'm controlling it. A lot of the other stuff happens on Facebook, I don't control that. For example, I write something funny on Facebook, and then Brandon makes fun of it, and then his friend shares it, and somehow somebody shows up on my site, and I don't know how that'll happen, but they just show up, and it's just traffic I don't control, right? But typically, traffic I don't control, I send them to my blog, okay? Now, both of these kind of traffic things are good, but my only goal with traffic I control and traffic that I don't control is to convert those people from those types of traffic into traffic that I own. Traffic that I own is the best type of traffic. That's what I want. Because when I own that traffic, I don't got to pay for it again. It's my traffic. I can do whatever I want with it. I can send it here. I can send it here. I can read an email one day where Joel Terrian's like, hey, we're giving away a Ferrari to whoever can sell the most stuff. I'm like, awesome. Hey, traffic, over there. Boom, I got a Ferrari. Okay, what's the next thing? Right? You can sell whatever you want. You own that traffic. You can push it wherever you want. And that's the goal, okay? This is how you become financially free, is by owning traffic, okay? And the first time I think I really got this, I was reading an article about that some guy had posted online. I wish I still had this article. It was like the biggest aha for me. He was talking about, he said, I'm sure you guys have read those articles from the gurus about how I made $25,000 in an hour and how I did all these things, and you probably thought it was a big scam, right? I was like, yeah, I'm sure, like, who makes 25 grand in an hour? That is a scam. And he wrote back, he's like, it's actually not. Let me tell you how it works. He said, these big gurus, they go out there and they spend all this time and energy and money, and they build up a big, huge email list. Okay, email list. Let's say they have an email list of 100,000 people. It says one day they wake up and they decide to promote a product. They send an email out to that product. And let's say they just get 1% of the people to buy that product. Let's say it's a $50 product. What's the math on that? 50K. Like, okay, well, let's say only 0.1% of people actually buy that. That's 5K. I was like, 5K? That's how much I make in 3 months right now. I'm sending out email to my list. So I like had this, my big epiphany. I'm like, this is awesome. I got to get me an email list. How am I going to do that? So I start researching an email list, and I found this website. It was called spamfreeemailaddresses.com, and they were selling these DVDs with like 4.3 million people's email addresses. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like I get it. Load them up, send out an email. If I get 0.001%, I'm rich. Game over, right? This is how my young, naive mind is working. So I buy the DVD, spend $50 on this this mailing software to make the emails go out. I load up the 4.3 million email addresses. I write a little ad, and I click send. And this is back in the days of dial-up modems. My dial-up modem's plugged in the wall. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And I tell my wife that night, she's supporting me while I'm going to school, paying the bills. I said, honey, I was like, 4.3 million. I'm showing the math, like very, have my glasses on. $4.3 million. I'm like, if we only get 0.00001% to buy this, we'll be millionaires in the morning. But I don't think that let's be conservative. Let's say it's 0.0000001. It's 100 grand. I do all the math. I'm like, worst case scenario, we make 10 grand by morning. So you can quit your job if you want. Because she's making like $1,000 a month at the time. And she's like, okay, like, this is legal, right? I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's doing it. This is how these guys make their money. So I load the whole thing up, I go to bed, I tell her to quit her job in the morning. Emails are being sent out all night. I'm having daydreams of like mansions and everything great that's gonna happen to me, right? And I wake up in the morning and she's like, hon, I gotta use the phone. I'm like, you can't, we're becoming rich. Like emails are going out, you can't just use the phone. She's like, I have to call this person. I'm like, because back then, you guys remember when you had dial-up modem? You had to unplug your computer and plug back in your phone. So I get on the desk, and I unplug the modem, and I plug back in the phone, and literally within seconds, I'm still under the desk. I plug it in, and I hear the phone ring. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I come back out, pick up the phone, and this person is cursing me out on the other line. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And my wife, she comes out waiting for the phone. She sees my face kind of drop, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I didn't know. Oh, really? Oh, crap. Okay, I'm so sorry. And so she's freaking out, like, what's happening? What's happening? And I hang up. I'm like, yeah, they just shut down our internet access, and they're threatening to sue us. And she's like, what? What's going on? I'm like, I thought you said it was legal. I'm like, I swear it is. And anyway, so we go through this whole thing, and my internet's completely shut down. She goes to work, and I'm like, please, on the way out, like, please, 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 please don't quit. Like, give me a couple hours to cool this off, and then you can, yeah. So I'm trying to see what happened, but my internet's gone, so I'm kind of screwed. I'm still going to school, so I put my backpack on and, start walking to class. I get to class, I'm listening to my teacher talk, and I'm just bored out of my mind. And all of a sudden, I'm like, there's a computer lab next door. I got to see what's happening. So I get off and I sneak out. This is anyone still in college? Okay, you teach this to your kids. This is like the secret, right? So if you hate your teacher and you're bored, you just go like this and kind of start squirming a little bit. And you get this concern that you can just walk in, and they're like, oh yeah, and you walk out like you're going to go to the bathroom, and then you walk right in the computer lab. So I used to always do that. So I just did that, like, fake out to go to the bathroom, walk out, go in the computer lab, and check my emails, and look at some stuff. And I decided to log in my PayPal account. I was selling this thing through PayPal. I logged in my PayPal account. I had made like 9 sales during the night. And I was like, holy crap, it worked, kind of. I started thinking, I'm like, okay, I was rewarded for this. It worked. People were buying this thing. So it works, but I did it wrong. I was like, if I can figure out how to do this the legitimate way that's not going to get me shut down, this could be the greatest thing in the world. And so that began my mission, like, how do I build a list, okay? But you guys, the reality of this concept is true. For for most of you guys, you're going to, some of you guys have list starters, some of you guys don't now, but if you're one of your main focus, one of your main key KPIs we talked about earlier today, your main things you're focusing on is the size of my list, how many people am I adding each day. If that's when your main core focus is, it'll keep growing and keep growing. At first you'll get 100 people, and then 500, then 1,000, then 10,000, then 20 and 30. And somewhere along the line, you're going to get the point where literally anytime you want to get paid, you just wake up, you write an email, you click send, you go back to bed, and cash comes in. Who here has experienced that in this room? How does it feel? Today he did it. He felt, and does it not feel like the greatest thing in the world? You feel like a rock star? It's the coolest thing in the world. And that's like really the internet dream, right, is that. And so for us, we've got to think about how do we make this happen without me doing the illegal thing and getting shut down? Because I can teach you guys how to spam if you want. We tried it for a little while. It's not very much fun. But there's a legitimate way you can do it that's long-term that'll feed you for the rest of your life. Literally almost every single time like our company has collapsed, which has happened multiple times, the thing that saves us every single time is our email list. We come back to it like, all right, let's send an email out, and boom, it saves us every single time. Like it's the thing that, of everything I have in my business, if you can take everything away, that would be the one thing I would keep, because I can keep coming back to it, and it pays for everything. And so that's kind of the key. So the focus has to be, you guys, as we're doing all this traffic stuff, again, just like this chart here, all the traffic I control, I'm sending it to a squeeze page, okay? I'll talk more about squeeze pages tomorrow, and most of you guys probably know what that is, but if you don't know what it is, all it is a simple page where somebody gives me their email address, they click submit, and then they're taken to a page where they can buy something, right? So I put them through this filter first so that when people are coming through here, a percentage of people will join my list. Now they're on my list. Now I own that traffic. I can do whatever I want with them in the future, okay? Traffic I don't control, I typically are sending them to my blog or something. But if you look at my blog, you notice the top 1/3 of my blog, all it is like a glorified squeeze page. I've got a video right here, and I ask them to opt in. Because I don't care if they type little snot. They'll see that way down here. I just want to get them on my email list. That's the only goal I have, right? So all the traffic I don't control, all my Facebook stuff, all these other things I'm doing, I'm pushing them like, hey, go to dotcomsecrets.com. I'm pushing them there because I don't control them. When they show up there, they get on my list. Now I own them. Now I got them. I can sell my free book. I can get them in my value ladder. I can get them to come to events like this. And I guarantee all you guys somehow got into one of my funnels somewhere, and that's how come you're here today right now, okay? And so that's kind of what we're focusing on is all the traffic you control, you push through a squeeze page. Traffic you don't control through a blog. The goal, again, is to get their email address. And now you own that traffic that you own. And now that's the goal, guys. That's the game of internet marketing, okay? And like I said before, I think that's the next slide, actually. The way we do that is kind of through this process. Back in the day, a lot of times traffic was a lot easier. So I would set up a squeeze page, and I would drive traffic, and I would pay whatever I would pay, not that much. And then over here, I would sell something over here, and it was really easy to do it because there weren't a lot of people doing it, and it was a lot cheaper, and so I could make that work really, really, really easy. But then what happened is like all these people like you guys wanted to play in this game too, and other people, and everyone made it hard, and everyone made ad prices go up because everyone was playing, right? So everyone starts doing this stuff, so all of a sudden it got more expensive to drive ads. Now my goal in every single funnel we do, which is, again, what we're doing all day tomorrow, is I want to create a funnel where I put $1 in ads in, and immediately I make $1 back out, okay? And why do I do that? Because those people just got converted from traffic I controlled, went through this process, I broke even, now, but my goal is to pay money right here, break even right here, now they're on my list, and now I can sell my other stuff, right? So this is the filter. Because I can't just drive them through a squeeze page now and break even. I got to drive them through a squeeze page, go through my initial funnel, and make money. So when I first did it, we would just have like one simple product there, and we would sell it, and it would work. We put $1 in, we get $1, $1.50, $2 back out the back, okay, and we get a customer. That was what we were doing. But then it got a little harder because everyone was buying ads and got more expensive. And so what we did is we started figuring out different ways to make this work better. So what I would do is like someone would buy this product, and then I would go and I'd add an upsell. Before I add the upsell, I put $1 in and I make like 50 cents back out. I'm like, this is a losing campaign. I'm not going to make any money. I add an upsell in there, and all of a sudden I make more money. And now I get to the point where I put in $1 in, I get $1 back out, and it works again, right? And so this is kind of this funnel game is you build a funnel, you drive some traffic, and your goal is to put $1 in, you get $1 back out. Okay, if it's less than that, then I got to change something. I got to add an upsell or tweak this or change this until we get to the point where you put $1 in, you get $1 back out, and now I got a funnel I can do to start growing my list as rapidly and as quick as I can. Okay, in our business, that's all we're doing is building this funnel till it breaks even, drive leads in, and now we've got these leads we can sell anything we want to them in the future. Okay, and so tomorrow, that's what the whole focus tomorrow is this funnel. I'm going to show you guys a ton of different iterations of how to build these funnels and what the best way and just a ton of ideas, because this is where the game wins. As soon as you learn how to build a funnel you can at least break even on, game over. That's when you win this game. That's when your list starts growing as fast as you want. You can have 1,000 people a day to your list, keeps growing, and you can print money for the rest of your life. You guys like that? You guys want to be there? Okay, it's a good place to be. So our goal is to at least break even. Obviously I want to make a profit on that front end. If I make a profit, typically the first time we put it out there, if we send something out and it breaks even, because as you know, what we like to do is all this weird split testing stuff we talked about here. If my initial test breaks even, we're like having a party. Like, oh my gosh, we haven't even tested anything that's breaking even. Make a couple tweaks, and all of a sudden we double our money. And now we're making profit on the front end. Then it's just like a party every single day. So that's what we want to be at. But even if you just break even, okay, even if you just break even, that's $1 million a year business. In any market you want, almost not every market. In most of the good markets, it's game over. Okay, because as soon as you break even, you're building that list, and you can just. I mean, if I was to give you, or if you give me $1, I give you $2 back, how often do you do that? Much as you can, right? I had someone the other day ask me, it's like, what's your advertising budget? I'm like, it's $1 bajillion a day as long as it's profitable. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, if you can turn $1 million into $5 million a day, I'll do it. I'll give you $1 trillion a day. Like, if you can turn it back out, right? So that's what you have to understand. As soon as you get this thing to work, then there's no such thing as an advertising budget because you're breaking even. You put $1 in on Monday, the ad goes out. Tuesday, the merchant account gets the money. Wednesday, it's in your bank account, and you start it over. Okay? So your ad budget disappears because you just crank it up. Okay? You look at our supplement Neurocell. We spent almost a year trying to get the funnel to work right. We had some variations, and finally in January this year, it worked. In January, we made $20,000 in Neurocell. And we're like, oh, that's awesome. Okay. Last month, which was March, so 2 months later, we made $300,000 in Neurocell. Okay. Guess why? Cranked it up. Converts, man. Just crank it up. How much media can we buy? Just keep buying it because it works. Like, let's just keep doing it. Okay. Next month, who knows? We're $500,000. Have as much media as I can buy successfully. I'm gonna keep buying it because it's free. There's no budget. Okay, that's how you win this game. That's how you win this game big at a big level. Okay, you guys see what I went through value add and all these other pieces because it's so key to understanding this part of it. When we understand this, the whole game becomes super easy. When we come back, I'm going to share with you guys probably one of the coolest things. Okay, because like I said, tomorrow is all about building a funnel, but I want to make it so when you start building your funnel, you know exactly what's going to work every single time, because then you almost always succeed. So I'm going to show you guys a couple tools we use to reverse engineer what's already working out there, and then we just model and clone what's working, and boom, like you're in profit day number 1, okay? Who here wants to see that? It's exciting, okay? And as soon as I learned this, I was like, this is the stupidest, easiest thing in the world. You put a website in, it'll show you the entire sales funnel, it'll show you what sites they're buying ads on, it'll show you where all these congregations are at, everything we're talking about, in literally 5-10 minutes I can show you on almost every offer where all those things are at. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that stuff, and then tonight you can go and you can play with some of those tools, and you'll know exactly where your target markets are at, what they're buying, what prices they're paying, and makes the whole job a lot easier. So that's the game plan. Now you guys kind of understand a lot of the conceptual stuff behind traffic. That last session kind of helped a lot of you guys, hopefully. And see, you don't have to be as smart as people probably think I am, because I'm not. That's not the key. The key is really to understand, as the entrepreneur, where these things are at, who your market's at, where they're at. So now I'm going to help you guys to really get more specific and find out exactly where those guys are at. Okay? And this is where it starts getting really fun for me. So I had one of my friends and mentors, when I first got started in this business, he told me, he said, the thing about internet marketing is like everyone wants to figure out how to create traffic. He's like, your job's not to create traffic. Traffic's already out there, right? People are already on Facebook and on these blogs, and they're already everywhere out. Your goal is not to create new traffic. It's to find out where that traffic is at and then tap into it and figure out how to get that traffic and divert it back over to you. So when I heard that, it made a lot of sense to me. And that's kind of where this whole concept comes from. So the first thing I want to find out, what I'm going to do, instead of me just going out, because what normally happens for most people, and it still shocks me because I went the opposite way. When I got started, one of my big mentors, the guy that I looked at all the time, was a guy named Armin Morn. Anyone here know Armin or seen his stuff? So Armin was like one of my first heroes, right? One of the first attractive characters online that just captured me. I was like, this guy's awesome. And I was watching what he did. He was creating all these little software products. And he called them generator software. So he had ebook generator, e-cover generator, header generator, sales letter generator, all these different generator softwares. And he had all these things. And so when I was trying to create my very first offer, my very first product, I was like, I want to make a software product. And my first idea I had was for a product called ZipBrander. And ZipBrander was just this little software product. It did one thing. And I was so excited. I went and I found this guy in Romania. I paid him $20. He built the whole thing for me. And I had my very first product. And I was like, well, how am I going to sell this? Well, I wasn't smart enough to just figure out how to go sell it. But I knew Armin's stuff. And I looked at all his sites. And his sites looked awesome. So I just looked at his site and I modeled it exactly. My site looked identical to his. He had this little e-cover image. I had an e-cover image. He had a header graphic. I had a header graphic. He had a sales letter. It had like 13 paragraphs. Mine had 13 paragraphs. Like I modeled it identical, okay? And that was how I created my very first offer. And luckily for me, Armin knew what he was doing. So when I modeled him, mine luckily worked as well. And it was like this great thing. And I think a lot of us, for whatever reason, we don't model things. We just kind of think, oh, I'm going to try this. And you try stuff and it just doesn't work, right? Tony Robbins, when I went to his, I can't remember which one of his events, we talked about it. He said, like, if you want to become the best in the world at something, he's like, you don't go out and try to figure it out on your own. You find the best person in the world and you find them and you model them and you do exactly what they do. And I've seen guys in his organization who do this. One of Tony's main trainers is a guy named Joseph McClendon. And Joseph is awesome. The first time I met him, I was speaking at an event. And I did this close, and it was one of my best pitches I ever did. I did my close and rushed to the back, and he bought the thing. And afterwards, he pulled me aside, and he's like, man, your pitch was awesome. Just so you know, I'm going to model it identical for my next thing. I was like, well, I was like so honored. Like, well, thank you very much. And then I saw him like a year or two later at a UPW. He'd come behind stage when he was presenting, and we hung out in the little green room they have back there, and it was really cool. And he told me, he's like, you know what, Russell? He's like, the way you did your pitch, he's like, I just modeled that, and it worked. As we start talking about modeling, he's like, man, I will never in a million years step into try to do anything without finding the best person, just copying him. He's like, for example, he's like, 3 months earlier, I had this new product I was going to launch. And so I knew this guy named Jeff Walker who does this product launch thing. And so he's like, I went to Jeff's site. I looked at his process. I saw his very first video was 38 minutes and 12 seconds. So I made a video that was 38 minutes and 12 seconds. He said, I want it to be to the second exactly the same. I wanted to model it. My upsell, the second video was this. And he's like, I modeled the look of his page, the feel of his page, the script, what he talked about. I talked about the equivalent for my thing. He's like, I modeled as close as humanly possible because I knew this worked. So why would I go out there and try to reinvent the wheel? I know this works. Let me just model it as close as I can for my stuff, and it's going to be successful. And he did, and he launched it and made a ton of money. Okay, so many of you guys out there, I promise you, are trying to reinvent the wheel. Okay, and that's not the key in this game. The game is not to ever reinvent the wheel. It's to find what's already working perfectly and then model it. Okay, all right. So this is how we do this process, okay? And this is the key. This is why I want to do this session tonight before we get into funnel building, because I do not want you to look or even try to build a funnel until you see your competitors' funnels and so you can model it exactly, okay? And so this all starts first off on where. Where are your competitors, okay? Who here knows who their competitors are in this online? Who here does not know who their competitors are? Okay? This is key, you guys. The first thing you have to know is who are your competitors. Who's selling the same thing you want to sell? Okay, if nobody is selling the exact same thing you want to sell, it's probably a bad sign. Okay? I get people all the time who are like, guess what, Russell? The coolest thing I found in this market, nobody's in it. I'm the first dude in it. I'm like, don't be in it. Why not? Because that means if nobody's in it, there's a good reason why. Other people are like, oh, I want to do a weight loss product, but guess what? Everyone's got a weight loss product, so I don't want to be in it. No. If everybody's doing a weight loss product, probably a good idea. It means there's a big, huge market, right? And so I want to look at, so if you don't know who your competitors are, you need to find your competitors. That's one of the most important key things, okay? Because you want to see everything about them. I want to find out what they're selling, what price points they're selling, what their upsells down, what their downsells are. I want to see what traffic sources, I want to see everything about them, and then I'm just going to model it, okay? So if you don't know who your competitors are yet, you need to find them. I'm going to show you guys how to find them. But that's the key. You got to find out who are your competitors. Now, there's two types of competitors I'm looking for. First are my direct competitors. Okay, so if I have a weight loss offer, who are all the other people who have a weight loss offer? Okay, I want a direct competitor. So if I'm selling an ebook, who else is selling a weight loss ebook? I need to know every single one of them. Okay, so that's a direct competitor. An indirect competitor is, I got a weight loss ebook. Who are the people selling weight loss supplements? Who are the people selling weight loss magic creams? Who are the people that are also selling maybe fitness things, right? Things that aren't identical but are close. Okay, so I'm looking at both those. Who are my direct competitors who have almost the identical same product, and then who are my indirect competitors? Okay, and that's the first step here. Okay, now the second step is after I know exactly who these competitors are. The second step is I got to find out what it is they're doing. I want to reverse engineer what they're doing so I can model it. Anyone ever seen the movie Paycheck with Ben Affleck? Okay, his job in this movie was they would find this equipment these companies would make, right? And he'd come in, and his job was reverse engineer all this stuff and figure out how everything ticked and how it worked, and then he would make improvements, and they'd rebuild it, and they'd launch a competitor a month later and beat out these people, right? That was his whole entire job in the movie. It was really cool. And so when I started thinking about this, I'm like, it's just like Paycheck, man. I got to see this guy's making $1 million a year right now. I need to be Ben Affleck. I need to come in here. I need to pull this whole thing apart, see how it all works. When I see how it all works, then I can put it back together and make my own and make it a little bit better and boom, make even more money. Okay? This is really like, I'd say probably the biggest secret, you guys. Some people think, oh, Russell, you're a genius. No, I'm not. I just find out what's working. I reverse engineer it and make my own version. Like that's the whole game. Okay? It's very, very simple. Now, there are 5 things I'm looking for when I'm reverse engineering an offer. Okay? An offer or a funnel, whatever it is you want to call it. Okay? These are the 5 things I'm looking for. First off is the demographics. This is who, right? We talked about who. Who are they selling to? Okay, I need to find out that. Second thing I find out is what's their offer? What are they selling? Are they selling an ebook? They have a free plus shipping product? Are they selling on a webinar? Like how are they making money? Okay, if it's working for them, it's probably going to work for me as well. So I want to find out exactly what their offer is. A lot of people say, Russell, what should I sell my product for? What are your competitors selling for? They're selling for $27. Sell for $27. Well, why? Maybe I should do mine for 37. Well, I wouldn't. Like they've proven it works. So let's just model it, copy it, whatever you want to call it. Like do the same price as they're doing it first. You can tweak and test things later, but the very first time I'm going to try to get the most perfect funnel as possible from day number 1. So I'm going to model every single thing as close as I can do. Okay? You don't want to go and try to reinvent the wheel initially. Okay? So the offer is the second thing. What's the offer? What are they selling? How are they bundling it? I want to know everything about that. Okay, any of my competitors' videos, sales videos, when I go to their sites, you can ask my brother. I go to the sales video, and I send him an email. He's a video guy. I said, Scott, I want you to go and rip the audio out of this sales video. He rips the audio, and I send that audio to a transcriptionist, and someone transcribes the whole sales video, and I print it out, and I have it on my computer, and I read through that thing 1,000 times. I want to know exactly what they're offering. Okay, I know someone else that does that too. He's nodding his head back there, right? That's how it works. Okay. I've got literally every single sales video in every single market I'm in printed out. Every one of Ryan Deiss' offers, I have them. Every front-end video, upsells, downsells, printed out on my computer. Because I want to know exactly what it is they're selling, why it's working, and if I don't know that, how do I expect to compete in that market? I need to know exactly what's happening at any given second in all the offers in my market. Okay? So the first thing is the front-end offer. Now, you have to buy your competitor's product. Okay? I don't care how much money it costs, you need to buy it. How many times did you buy Nutricel? How many times did you buy it on purpose?
3 times.
Okay, 3 times on purpose. Ed O'Keefe supplement. I bought Ed O'Keefe supplement probably 6 times. Same purpose. Okay, I know he's a competitor, and I bought the thing, and I took screenshots. I made a video of me buying the entire thing because I want to see what he was selling in upsells and downsells. And I bought it 2nd time because I want to see if he changed anything. Like it had been like 6 months. I'm like, I wonder if he's still doing the exact same thing. I bought it again. Oh, same. Oh, that changed. Wow, interesting. That changed. I wonder why he did that. Maybe I should try that. Okay? But you should find 5 or 6 or 10. How many of your competitors? You need to buy their stuff. And you need to do this as like your homework. Like it's not just I'm buying this thing to get the stuff. Like you're buying it. See, after you buy it, where do they take me? What's the upsell? What's the price point on the upsell? What's the downsell? What's the price point on the downsell? Do I have another upsell? Is there, what emails am I getting? What's the email sequence? How many emails do I get? Am I getting email every day? I got to know this stuff because I got to reverse engineer what's currently working so I can model it. Okay? So the offer is huge. Third thing is the landing page. Okay, the page that they're driving traffic to is one of the most important parts of this entire thing. Okay, now the nice thing about ClickFunnels, you guys, is every single every single landing page that I've ever seen that converts well, we've knocked it off and it's inside of ClickFunnels. Every single page that I ever find in the future, we knock it off, it's in ClickFunnels. So I see a page that's converting well, boom, the next day it's in ClickFunnels. So that's one nice thing that we're cheating for you guys is because I want it for myself. Like literally, I'm obsessed with this stuff. That's why ClickFunnels is launching with over 100 page templates day number 1 because these are all the templates I've always wanted to have. So we have them all in there. So, but seeing landing pages, like what does the landing page look like? What's the headline? What's the side? Like what's the back? Like all that stuff is so important. Okay, if you guys have read through 108 split test winners, like if you've seen like we'd make little tiny tweaks to a color or to a button and things like that, and you'll see 100, 200% increase just by tweaking something, right? So like what your landing page looks like is very, very important. So I don't want to screw it up. I want to see the guy who's spending money to drive ads right now, what's his look like exactly. I'm going to model it, and I can test from there, but I want my best guess going out day number 1, right? I want the very first time I buy traffic, I want the thing to get as close to break even as possible. So that's landing page. Next is traffic source. We talked about where are these people congregating. Okay, I can try to find all these people, or I can cheat and just find out for this guy's offer right here, where's he buying traffic from? And in a click, I'll show you guys in a second. In a click of a button, I can see every single website he's currently buying traffic on. And guess what I do? Just buy it there too, right? If I've got a product like let's say my competitor is Mike Geary, he's got Truth About Abs. I know he's making $1 million a month with Truth About Abs. And if I do every single site he's buying ads on, what if I made a product look like, I mean, it's not Truth About Abs, it's my product, but I make the landing page look the same, the upsell, I just model it perfectly. I find every single site Mike's buying ads on, I just buy the same ads. How much money do you think I can make off that? He's making $1 million a month. Maybe I can make that much. Maybe I can make half that. Maybe I make double that. I don't know. But if you model it as close as possible, you guys, you can do that. Okay? So traffic source and then ad copy is the last. What are the headlines they're using on their banner ads? On the emails, they're like all the stuff they're doing, you want to find out exactly what's working because you're trying to reverse engineer that. Okay? My goal is to get as close to perfect out of the gate as possible. So when I drive traffic, I'm trying to break even or make a profit. And I can get better from there, but I want to make my very best shot by modeling something that I already know is working. Does that make sense? Okay. Now when I'm doing this, sometimes I'm not able to find 1 or 2 things in these offers, but I never want to, it's okay if I don't know, let's say I can't find the ad copy, I can still reverse engineer pretty close, but if there's 2 unknowns, if I can't find 2 things, then I'm usually not going to model that thing. I want to make sure I know as much as humanly possible about every single aspect of that, and after I know it, then I'm going to model it works and make something as close to as similar as possible and that's how I'm going to start my thing, right? Okay. And then from there, there's a lot of stuff we can do. I'm going to show you guys again next tomorrow. We're going to show you guys how to take that and how to add on and build funnels and do all sorts of really cool stuff. But again, from day number 1, I want to make it as close to perfect as possible. So, is there a question? Yes. Great question. This question is, how do you know if an ad is actually successful? I'll show you right now. You want to see it? Whoever wants to see. Okay. So this is the process that I typically go through. I'm going to show you guys a couple websites. So the first one, where's my ClickBank crew in here? We got half of ClickBank in here. Okay, so ClickBank is one of, especially if you're selling information products, ClickBank's one of the best places to get your initial market research to find competitors. So if you're selling something, I have no idea who my competitors are, the first place I look is ClickBank, because ClickBank's got, how many products do you guys have in there now? A bajillion? How many? 50,000. So 50,000 products ranging from everything from weight loss, make money, there's some crazy weird stuff in there too I probably shouldn't even mention from stage. Like, they're selling all sorts of weird stuff. Any niche you can dream of, it's in ClickBank. I got friends who sell chicken coop books on ClickBank, like how to make your own chicken coop, and they make insane amounts of money. Who knew that was a market? But that's what they do, right? There's all sorts of different stuff. So I come into ClickBank, clickbank.com. At the very top, there's a button that says, so this is the marketplace. And on the left-hand side over here is all the different categories of products, right? So here's all the arts and entertainment, the betting things, business investing, computing, food cooking, wine, e-business, education, employment, jobs, action, games, green products, health and fitness, home and garden, languages, mobile, parenting, politics, reference, self-help, software, spirituality, sports, and travel. Do any of your markets not fit into one of those categories? Okay, it should cover 99% of you. Every once in a while there's one that's not going to fit, but for the most part, they're in here. So this is the first place I go. Okay, so for this example, I'm going to go and I'm going to do health and fitness. Okay, now the second step, what's cool, I click health and fitness, and this is going to show me all the health and fitness products. And what's cool is it categorizes them based on which one is selling the most right now. Okay, so right now I know that Venus Factor, of all the weight loss offers, of probably 10,000 weight loss offers in ClickBank, that one's selling the most right now. This is the hot offer of the day. Okay, and these guys are all competing. You look at 1, 2, 3, 4, like they're all going crazy against each other. And so whoever's the top it's working. It's working really, really well, right? Then you've got these other ones, reverse diabetes, which we promote that to our NurseCell list, and it did awesome. Cellulite Gone, Ultimate Herpes Protocol, so if you got a herpes product. And you start going through it and you start finding, and I'm looking for an offer that's either identical or as close to humanly possible to what I want to do. Okay? So if you don't have a product yet, like which one's the closest? Like I want a herpes product. Whatever that is for you, I don't care. Find out what that thing is and find the one that's closest to what it is you want to do. And that's going to be step number 1, right? So for this example, I'm going to do Venus Factor. Okay, so click on Venus Factor, and now I'm going to start going through these 5 things, okay? So the first thing I'm going to try to find out is what their offer is. So Venus Factor, I'm going to go to the website. You click right here on this red thing, it takes you to the website, and boom, here is Venus Factor. Okay, so this is what Venus Factor page looks like. I don't know about you, but I'm like, this is an ugly page, right? And most of you guys are like, that page is ugly. I can make something better. Don't! Okay? It's freaking working. These guys are making, I don't know, what do you think, BJ? What do you think these guys are making a day right now in your network? Yeah. I would conservatively say they're doing at least 1,000 sales a day. At least. And probably closer to 2,000 or 3,000 sales a day. Okay? Now, they've got a front-end product, upsells and downsells. So you put that in perspective. Let's just say the average customer makes them $40 a sale, which is higher than that. I know it's higher. But let's just say $40 on the low end. Okay, $1,000 sells 40 grand a day. 3,000 sells 120 grand a day. Okay, my guess is they're at least $100,000 a day they're making today with this offer on ClickBank. Do you think I'm close? In the weight loss space, some of my friends have hit number 1 in ClickBank. They're averaging anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 sales a day. So there's kind of a margin. So this site's, who here on an offer is making $100,000 a day? Okay, who here thinks it's a good idea to not try to make it better than it already is? Okay, this is what it looks like. So let's don't try to make something better. Let's just make it look kind of like this. Okay, so I'm going to watch this video. This is their video sales letter. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to, again, if you get transcribed, whatever you can do, I want to find out exactly what it is they're selling, what their offer is, what the product is, why is this going crazy right now? Why is everybody buying this? What's the message that they're using right now? They're using something. It's working. Let's find out exactly what it is. Let's come down here and find out what the price point is. What are they selling theirs for? Because I have a fitness ebook. Where should I sell it for? I don't know. Let's find out what these guys are selling it for. They're selling for $47. You know what? I bet you they've tested that price. So I could either go and test it or I could just copy them because that's what they've proven has worked. Right? I was listening to, anyone here know Agora Publishing? They're a $1 billion information company. They're probably the biggest info publishers in the world. And they sell financial newsletters, and they sell financial newsletters $100 a year to join their financial newsletters. They do this in like 8 different divisions and do over $1 billion selling these financial newsletters. And I heard Porter Stansberry, who runs their biggest division, who used to, he's worked there, or I think he retired or something, but I heard him speak on stage, and he said, it was interesting, he said, hey, if you're going to do a financial newsletter, you should sell it for $97 a year. He's like, do you know how I know that? He's like, 'cause we tested everything else in the world, and the only way we've ever made it successful is $97 a year. He's like, you can come out and do whatever you want. You can sell it for $50 a year because you're going to undercut us. You can sell it for $200 a year because you can make more money. But we've tested this thing so well in over $1 billion in sales. This is the only thing we'll ever do. So why would I try to second guess that? That's the price people are paying. Let's just, like, they've done all the testing for you. Okay? Venus Factor's done testing for me. I'm going to sell my product at $47. Okay? If this is the way I want to do it. So I'm going to buy this product. I'm going to see what the upsells are. I'm going to see what the downsells are. I'm going to find out exactly what this offer is. Okay? That's key. So that gives me number 2. It also gives me number 3. I saw what their landing page was. So the next thing I got to find out is where's their traffic source? Where's $100,000 a day of money coming from? Because if I can find those people, I want to be on the same sites. Okay? There's a couple of sites we use to do this. This one is a free one. They have an upgrade too, but you can get a lot of info for free. So if you go to similarweb.com/website/ and then that website URL. So similarweb.com/website/venusfactor.com. I click that in there, and I'm going to show you guys some amazing stuff. Check out all the stuff they give me. Okay, so I come through here. You see their rankings, all kind of stuff. Come down here, you see how much is coming from direct traffic, from referrals, from SEO, from social media, from mail, from display. So in this market, I look at that and said, for their offer, almost none of that's coming from search. So what does that tell me? I probably shouldn't spend any time on SEO, right? Because in my market, no traffic's coming from search. They're getting some from social, so maybe I can spend some time in social, not much for mail or display. Referrals, we're getting a lot, and direct. So I kind of see I get an idea of where the traffic is coming from. You come down here, it shows me where people are buying. So I've got basically United States, a little bit in Canada, and a little in Australia. So if I'm buying Facebook ads, I know not to spend any money anywhere else because that's where all their customers are coming from. So I can cut my ad spend down because I know exactly where they're at. Come down here and I can start seeing where their top referring sites are. This is where it starts getting cool. So the website that sends them the most traffic is fastdailyfind.com. Then you've got Motivate to Get Fit. You got PageRank. You got all these different sites that traffic's coming from. This is where they're getting their traffic from. And then you see, like, after they go to the site, where did they go after that? So they left venusfactor.com. Where's the next step they went to? Oh, well, they went over here to ClickBank. You notice that? Because that's ClickBank order form. But here's all the other sites. Here's other places they visited. I should probably try to buy ads on all those sites as well, right? Search traffic shows you the keywords that they're searching for. So if you do want to do any PPC stuff like that, there's the keywords they're looking for. Okay, there's tons of stuff. Social, all their socials coming from Facebook and Cafe. I don't even know what cafemom.com is. Man, if I was in the space, that's where I'd be looking at ads. Who knows? Okay, YouTube, they're getting traffic. Pinterest, display advertising. Start showing you stuff like that. Now, these are not perfect, but it shows you a bunch of stuff. Now, the coolest thing down here, I kind of see on the bottom right-hand side, it says Show Ads. Click on Show Ads. It's going to show me what their ads look like. Isn't that cool? So I can see exactly what their ads look like. This is what their ads look like. So if I'm going to be developing a banner ad, what do? I model it, right? Make it look similar. Okay? I borrow it. Here's their text ads. So if I'm telling you, what's a good headline for my product? What's going to be the best headline possible? I'm looking at their text ads. I'm looking at their image ads. Okay? One tip for a tiny belly. That's probably a good headline. It's one thing. You guys notice that? What's the one thing? Okay, which 3 foods can help you drop 3 sizes in a week? Oh, that could be a good email subject line. That could be a good article. That could be a good headline for my thing. Okay? I'm trying to see exactly what's working so I can model it. Right? And then you got audience down here. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff. Similar sites. So this gives me a lot of information for free. Okay? You can start digging a lot deeper. There's other services. SimilarWeb's got an upgraded version. You can get even deeper and get even more stuff. But I usually test here first because it's free and I can get a lot of information really, really quick. Right? Then there's a couple other sites. One of them is adbeat.com. Adbeat.com is a paid site. It's expensive. It's like $300 a month, but it lets you dig even deeper. Another good one's called whatrunswhere.com. I actually like the UI better of What Runs Where, but we always switch back and forth between the accounts. We have an Adbeat account right now, not the other one. So look at, when you do this, you can start digging a little deeper. So you can see what networks they're buying ads on. Direct buy, buysellads.com, ClickBoost. You see where the traffic's coming from. I can start seeing similar advertisers. So who's Venus Factor's competitors? Okay, because I want to keep digging deeper. So here, Venus Factor Fat Loss is a competitor, which is probably theirs. Bellyfatfree.com, thevenusratio.com, customizedfatloss.com, fatlossfactor.com. Anyway, all these are their competitors. Now, this is what's interesting. The Venus ratio, I probably shouldn't tell this. Oh, crap. Well, I have to now. So one of my friends went through this process. He saw the Venus Factor, saw how well it was doing, and he created the Venus ratio. Same name, same like he modeled it, and he's killing it with it now. Anyway, just an idea. So similar advertisers, publishers, top phrases. Just tons and tons of cool stuff, okay? Now you can start seeing their top ads. So this, I think this gives me ads. This is going to be a lot more of their ads. But I see headlines. I see what the image is looking like. If I'm buying Facebook ads, I see what images are working. I see what headlines are working, what text is working. Okay? There's tons of these things. So I hired a banner designer. I just say, hey guys, check out these banners. I want something similar. I want my headline though. Do you guys know you can find all this stuff? Isn't that awesome? All that. So anyway, this shows a lot more banner ads, which is fun. You can start getting deeper and deeper. Okay, and I also know that this is their #1 referring site. The other thing I know is it was first seen on this site January of 2014 and last seen May 12th, which means they've been running that ad for 108 days. What does that tell you guys? Yeah, it's probably working, right? Maybe I should model it. Okay, American News Report's been running there for 39 days. Health Resources for You, 93 days. And you go down, you see exactly how long. Some of these ones they've been testing, I might come back in a week from now, a month from now, see if they're still running. If not, they didn't work for them. So why would I blow my money on that site if it's not working for them? But the ones I know are working, the ones that have been running for 150 days, 108 days, 109 days, that's where I'm going to start at. Okay, and I'm just like, where should I buy ads first? That's where they're at. The people are there, my target market's there. I know it's already profitable for these guys. That's where they're at. Yeah, so this question is, can you tell if they're using a network or they're going direct? Yeah, that's kind of what some of these things are back here. Like if you look down here with, down here, direct buy means they're going directly to the website and placing an ad with it. Display is probably more network. Let me think. In here, I think you can see. If you play through it a little bit, you can though. Yeah, you can. Yeah, here's direct buy. So So there's your direct buys, buysellads.com, ClickBoots. So ClickBoots a network, Google's a network, Bing's a network, SiteScout's a network, AdSonar. So you can see what networks, you can see what direct buys, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, again, there's a lot of ways to drive traffic, you guys. We're going to cover a couple more of them tonight, but the process we go through, so and I'm glad you asked this question because this leads to it. So there's two ways to buy traffic through this concept, okay? What I'm showing you guys right now, what this is showing me basically, we call it media buying, which is banner ads, okay? This is reverse engineering, for the most part, banner ads. Like, what sites are they buying banner ads on? Okay? This is not going to show me what email lists they're buying emails from. This is not going to show me a bunch of other stuff. It's just going to show me the banner ads, okay? So this is what we're talking about first is the first kind of traffic that we're going to be targeting is banner ads, okay? Banner ads. Now, when you do this, there's two ways to do it. Okay, one is you go direct to the site. The other way is you go through a network. Okay. Now the concept behind the network is basically, there's these dudes who basically got access to like a ton of sites, right? Like thousands of sites. Like buysellads.com has access to thousands. Google AdSense is on thousands of sites, right? And so the concept is you go to Google to Google, and you're going to go and you're going to buy ads on all these tons and tons of sites. Now in theory, it's awesome. The problem is that most of you guys will lose, including me, will lose our shirts going directly to a network. Okay? I won't teach you guys how to do this because we don't do it right now because it's basically with the network, you're putting your ad in there, it's going on 1,000 sites, and you're testing all these things, all these variables, and guess what happens? Your money starts getting spent so fast. Like literally, we've tested this. We did this with Nursa. We had a guy who's this professional guy who's super good at ad networks. We put in an ad, and within one day, he spent $20,000 of our money. In one day, and was not profitable. Like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, well, you told me to put it in networks, and I put it in, and I'm like, I thought you were awesome at this. He's like, I am. I'm like, well, then why is it not working? He's like, I don't know. He's like, how to work on your side? I'm like, I don't know. All the traffic came in literally 24 hours. And I was done, and nothing I could do about it. Okay, and that's what happens with networks is you're testing 1,000 sites, 1,000 pages, and all this stuff, and to make that profitable, you've got to be a ninja. Okay? Now, I'm not a ninja yet. I'm working someday I'll become a ninja. So I don't do this. What I do is I go direct because I can test small and I can find out what's going to work and not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly initially to these sites, and I'm going to try to buy an ad directly from that site owner. So I'm going to go to these sites. I'm going to find the ones like healthpages.org and SheClick.org, which I think it might be a network, Mr. Movie Times, Vintage, and then I'm going to do some research on 4 or 5 things. I'm going to try to find like 10 sites or so that I think would be awesome to buy direct from, right? I'm going to find 10 sites. I'm going to contact those 10 sites. Most of these sites, if you scroll to the very, very bottom, there's going to be like all their footer links to the bottom, right? Has like their terms of service and all that kind of stuff. And usually there's a little link down there that says advertise. You click on that link and there'll be a page, and usually they'll have some kind of media kit or something, and they'll tell you all about their site. They're like, here's our site, here's our demographics, here's a bunch of stuff. If you're interested in advertising with us, give us a call or send us an email, whatever. And all you do is you send an email to that site, and you start a dialogue with whoever it is on their side that sells ads. Okay? Very low tech. That's why I like this kind of stuff. It's not like high tech. So I go to that site, and I'm going to email all 10 people, and now I'm going to start using this to bid against each other, right? Because I want to get the best rate. So email 10 different people, and my goal right now is to try to find, like, all I really want to do is I want to buy ads on 3 sites. Okay? And the reason why, if you do one site and it fails, you have no idea if it failed because the site sucked or because your ad sucked or because you have no idea why. So I never like just to gamble on one thing. Okay? I like to have 3 different sites I'm going to do my initial test on. Okay? The difference is the network, you're testing 1,000 sites. See how much risk there is in that? Like, okay, put on 1,000 sites. I have no idea which one's going to work. And 90% there's going to be failures, and there's going to be like maybe 3 or 4% that are going to work. But I don't know what that is until I wasted 20 or 30 grand. Where here, I'm going to do my best guess effort to find out exactly which sites are going to work. I'm going to contact 10 of them and use that to negotiate. Like, well, these guys are going to get to me for this price and this price, and negotiate down to the point where I have 3 sites I'm going to test with, and I'm going to buy ads on those 3 sites. Okay? And it's not a difficult process. When all said and done, basically come back to me and you're like, hey, I'm going to buy an ad on your site. What I want to do is I'm willing to spend X. I'm willing to spend $1,000 or $500 or whatever your number is. And like, you got to kind of figure out what your budget's going to be on this. So let's say your budget is $1,000. So I'm going to take that $1,000, try to split between these 3 sites. And some sites won't let you do it that low. Other sites will let you, but you're going to try to negotiate that to get in there. And then you put your banner ad on these 3 sites, and you can start testing it, and traffic will start coming, and really quick, you're going to find out if it's working. Okay? And if one site's working or 2 or none of them, and all this stuff will start happening, and that's when you start finding out all these things. Okay? Was the demographics right? Did the offer work? Did the landing page work? Did the traffic source work? All these things start happening, and that's how we start buying sites direct. Does that make sense? Okay. Now when I'm doing this, again, lads, like I said, we're modeling everything as close as we can. So I know that this is what their offer looks like right here. This is what their landing page looks like. I know that this is what their banner ads look like. So I'm making, and I know these are the sites they're buying these banner ads on. So I'm coming back and I'm replicating, making a campaign that looks similar. It's on a similar site, and the banner ad's similar, because I'm trying to do my best guess. And usually if those things work and you put it out there, usually we'll get at least one of the 3. Usually, a lot of times all 3 of them will work. They'll break even on the front or make us a profit. And now we can start doing this and scaling it. Okay? And after I've got one site working, then we add another one, and we keep growing until we get 5 sites, and then 10 sites. And every single one of these things, when you add it in, it just starts growing the traffic that's coming into your site. Does that make sense? Okay. One of the big things I focus on in our business is how, one of my mantras, or whatever you want to call it, is how can I give myself a raise today? I want to give myself a raise every single day. And the best way to do that is just every day I'm trying to figure out a new traffic source. Like, what's the new thing I can plug into? And if I find out this site can get me 100 leads profitable a day, I put it on there, and then every day it's bringing me 100 leads, 100 leads, 100 leads, okay? It's awesome. Then I find another site, again, all of a sudden, boom, now I got 2 sites making me 100 leads a day, and I got 200 leads a day coming in. My list is growing, everything's working. Then a third one and a fourth, and you keep adding things on, and this will keep growing and growing and growing. And this is one of the easiest ways to scale an offer after it's working, okay? Banner ads. Now, there's a lot more to this, obviously. Like, there's so many elements to test and stuff like that, and we don't have time in this. Maybe I'll do a bonus training after where we dig a lot deeper so you guys can see the technical stuff that's hard to show from a stage and from this kind of perspective. But my goal for you guys is to understand conceptually how this works, okay? This is how we create an offer that's a winner. Is we go and reverse engineer what's already working, model it, find the sites that the traffic's already on, and we put our ads on the same sites. Okay, I'm not that smart, right? I just find out what's working and we model it. Okay, that's really the reality of how we all win this game. Okay, so for you guys, what I want you to do tonight, and I think, I don't know about you, but this is like my favorite. I have so much fun with this part of it, is go tonight, find a couple competitors on ClickBank. If you can't find them on ClickBank, go to Google or go wherever, and at least one of their products, buy it. And I want you guys to go through that process and figure out all these pieces. What's their upsell? What's their downsell? What's the offer? Like, what's all these pieces? And spend $100 just buying that thing. That'll be the best $100 you ever spend, because now you know exactly what you need to do to be successful. Okay? It's one of the easiest ways. And then when you come back tomorrow, you'll know that. Now you got an idea of this is what their funnels look like. Now we can start figuring out exactly what your funnel is going to look like and how we're going to build it. So we'll come back now as to where do we get this traffic. Now this slide is the same one I showed you guys earlier today. Okay? Remember earlier today we talked about building your own platform where you're out there talking and you're going to build a big following in one of these 5 areas, right? Either email, Facebook, YouTube, podcasts, and blog. Okay? This has everything to do with traffic, because this is what you're doing to develop traffic. And again, this is where traffic is at on the internet. So we talked about one way is finding the sites that people are advertising on. Okay, a lot of these sites are blogs. Okay, when you start digging into this, you'll be like, man, they're buying banner ads on other people's blogs. That's all we're doing right now. Is other people have built up this big following. They're attractive characters. They're news sites, whatever they're on. They have all these people, and they're coming to read this blog, and we're just buying ads on their site, right? That's the newspaper thing. So this same concept works, though, really well with email. So I'm going to come back through. We're going to start at the top, kind of go back down. So one cool thing we found is when we were trying to reverse engineer our neuropathy product, right? We're trying to find out the exact same thing. I took it through this process. I found all our competitors. I found a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And we found a couple sites that one of our competitors was buying ads on. And at the time, I had never bought banner ads before, and we were kind of nervous, but we wanted to test it out. But the one thing that we're really good at in our company, I think we're much better at this than banner ads, we're really good at buying email ads. Okay? So we went to these sites, and they were buying ads on like a conservative Republican news site. We're like, awesome, these guys are buying ads right here on the thing. I wonder if there's an email list, like this blog or this news site, I wonder if they have an email list. So that little advertise button at the bottom we clicked on, sure enough, they got a whole bunch of stuff. You can buy banner ads on our site, you can buy emails on our site, whatever. So for us, we gravitate more towards email. Okay? Because my favorite thing about email is I can buy an email, and within a day, I know if it worked, it comes fast. It's like a big surge of traffic, and you can see things really, really fast. So for me, That's my personal favorite way to test an offer and get it out fast. So we started going to these sites that have our target demographic on them, and they've got an email list, and we're buying ads directly in the email lists. That makes sense? So for you guys, you reverse engineer, you say, okay, here's the health site that these guys are buying ads on. They also have an email list. Maybe I can rent that email list and put ads in that as well. Okay? And again, email for me is by far my favorite, especially when we're trying to test out a funnel, because you can get results really, really fast. The banner ad stuff I just showed you guys is good, but for me, it takes a little longer. There's more variables that you can still kind of screw up. So I usually start initially with email and then Facebook, which John's going to talk about here in a second. But we start like that, okay? So in each of your markets, as you guys are doing some of this research, I promise you that in every market, if you come back to this slide, with direct and indirect people, right? Who of your direct competitors has an email list? Okay, a lot of times your direct competitors won't promote your products because there's too much of a conflict, but which one of your indirect competitors have an email list? Okay, for email, usually we're targeting the indirect. So I'm selling the weight loss ebook. I'm going to find a guy selling the weight loss supplement to promote my ebook because it doesn't conflict with him, and people are the same target market. He's going to make a bunch of money promoting that. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? And so one of the best ways from day number one of your business is you should be joining every single email list in your market because you want to find out what lists are out there, what people are promoting, what they're selling, and come back. So with email, basically two core things that we do with email. Okay, I talked to you guys about the strategy of building your own email list. I think you guys all get that pretty strong. So the next thing is just like you, if you got a list of 100,000 people and you send an email out, you're going to make money. There are tons of people out there in almost every single market you can dream that have email lists the exact same way. And almost all of them will let you do one of two things. Number one, you can come up to those guys and say, hey, you got a big, huge email list. How would you like to send an email out and sell my product? And I'll pay you a commission on each of those, right? Pretty basic. We call it an affiliate or a joint venture partner. Okay. My very first product I ever created, I didn't have a list. I didn't know how to drive traffic, but I met this guy. He had an email list of like 15,000 people. I was like, hey, man, this is my product. I'll give you 100% commission to sell it. He was like, why would you give me 100% commission? I'm like, I don't know. You should just do it. And in my head, I was like, amateurs focus on the front end. You got 100%, just sell it. So he sent an email out to his list. He sold a whole bunch of them. I gave him all the money he made from it. And guess what I got? 217 subscribers. That might seem like a big deal to you guys, but that was the beginning of my business. I had people. I had an audience now. Now all this attractive character stuff, I have someone I can like give it to. Like, hey guys, I'm awesome. This is why. And all of a sudden, these little group of people started liking me. And I went to the next guy. I'm like, hey, you got a big email list. This is my product. Converts really, really good. I'll give you 100% to promote it. They're like, all right. I'm sure they're thinking to me like, what a moron. Like, you don't make any money when you give 100% away. But amateurs focus on the front end, right? And I understood that. So they'd promote it, and boom, all of a sudden I got, they promote my offer, get all the money, but I got a list. And I kept doing that and kept doing that. And eventually my list was 1,000 people, and then 5,000, and then 10,000. And now we're over 500,000 people, okay? And that's kind of one really good strategy. Now, you don't always have to give an affiliate person 100%, but most people who get in this business, they err on the other side. And they're like, oh, I'm going to pay my affiliate 10%. Okay? There's not many affiliates who get excited about 10%. And if they don't promote your thing, then guess what you get? You get nothing. Okay? If our goal is on our initial funnel to break even, give them 100%, give them 50%, give them 80%, whatever that number is, give them as much as they want, because your goal is not to make money initially. Your goal is to build a list so you can make money on everything else, right? So affiliates are a great way to do that. Now, a lot of people, they don't do affiliate things for whatever reason, okay? And so for those people, I come back to them and say, hey, okay, well, you don't do affiliate stuff. Well, can I buy an ad in your list? How about I write an ad, I give you a whole bunch of money, and you just send an email out to that list, and I keep all the money. And for whatever reason, a ton of people like doing this. It's crazy. We call them solo ads, okay? And there's literally people that will sell you solo ads in their email list in almost every market I've ever tried to do it in finance market, in health, nutrition, weight loss, and make money, and they're all over the place. In the BizOp, how to make money market, David and I were talking about this yesterday. Like, there's so much that's happening that I think the quality's dropped down. But in other businesses, like it's crazy. We had for our Nursel, one of our first ads. You remember, Brent? I think you spent $3,000 for the ad. We ended up making like 15, 20,000. Like it's like 5 or 6 times our money back on the front end. I was just like, this is like Christmas. And these lists are out there everywhere in all of your markets, you guys. Okay? And so we find them and say, hey, this is the deal. You got an email list. How much do you charge? And a lot of times they're like, hey, it's $1,500, send an email to my list. Like, all right, you write them a check, send an email to their list, and within a day, all these people come through and you know if your offer is going to work. Okay? You start getting money back, you break even, you make a profit, whatever it is, but it happens really, really fast. Okay? So for me personally, my favorite way to drive traffic is email. I think it's the fastest, the best, the easiest. That's what I always personally focus on first. Some of you guys, it's not going to be that way. Some of you guys like Facebook. Some of you guys like the banner ads. Everyone's kind of gravitates towards their favorite thing, and that's fine. That's why we're kind of sharing all these different strategies with you. But email is the one that I focus on the most. So this question was, do we have a rough formula for how much we want to pay on an email list? So that is, it's hard to give you an exact number because there's so many variables, like what market, what list, what, there's a whole bunch of things. So what we normally do is, in each market, not every market, but a lot of markets, there's like list brokers that work in those markets, and basically come to them and they kind of negotiate on your behalf. Or you can go directly to the person you're trying to negotiate, but it changes a lot. Brent's on our team that buys all the ads. What would you say is like an average, what's a good average we can give people on? What's cool about it is like he was saying, like the more specific you're getting, the more expensive you're going to do. But if you can create an offer that's more mass appeal, so like our neuropathy is nerve pain, right? A lot of people have nerve pain. Weight loss, a lot of people want to lose weight. Make money, a lot of people want to make money. And so again, everyone's like, I don't want to go in the hyper-competitive markets. But the hyper-competitive markets are the best because I can buy, for a lot cheaper, a bigger list. And if it appeals to more people, it's going to be cheaper for me. I can get more people in the funnel. The more specific you are, the more expensive it is. But you can also target and get that. Like our health-related lists would be twice as much money as like a general list. But usually on the health-related lists, they have health problems and will make way more money. So it kind of plays with that. How do you find a list broker? I would guess you go to Google and type in list broker, or just ask around. We work with list brokers in the BizOps space. So like Dagan Smith's great in the BizOps space. He runs a site called the Home Business Agency. It basically fuels like every MLM out there. In the personal development space, we use a guy. Personal development also like survival lists and kind of that market is growing. Brian Littman's, who we use at dedicatedemails.com. So if you have any kind of personal development offer, weight loss offer, survivalist offer, things like that, they do really well. Another guys we use is Jack Whalen. What's their company name? Or Jim Whalen, sorry. Is that the company name is Jim Whalen, or is it James Whalen Agency? They do a lot of like the financial, survival, the news list, things like that. We've got guys in the like finance space. So there's a lot of different list brokers. So we use them direct. A lot of times though, there's not list brokers. Like when we first started doing NeuroCell, we were looking for diabetes lists. And there's not like, at least I haven't found like a broker who just deals with diabetes lists. So I just went into Google. I literally typed in diabetes, advertising, email, something like that. And on the top 10 page, there's like 3 or 4 people that were like, we have diabetic lists. Here's our advertising rates, and all that stuff came up. So a lot of times it's just doing a little searching and kind of looking for it. And you can find sites direct again, and just like with the banner ads, you go direct to the site as opposed to working through a network. But I would say for a lot of you guys, especially if you're like me and you're impatient, you set the whole funnel up and you're like, okay, what's the fastest way to test this? The fastest way is email. Like let's gamble $500 or $1,000 and just see if it's going to work. And you put it in there, and what's cool, like I said, is you'll find out within hours a lot of times. Like when we first in January, we did our first test with the new NeuroCell funnel. The ad went out at what time, Brent? You think it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. So by the time we got to the office, we showed up and Brent said, it was like 10 a.m. He's like, dude, we just broke even. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's 10 a.m. He's like, yeah, we just broke even. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be awesome. And it's been a ride ever since then. Okay, because by 10 a.m. we'd already broken even. And after that, I think we tripled over that first day. We're like, this is great. And we started just running. So you never know what's going to happen until you test it. Now we made it like another example in our weight loss market, the very first funnel we built out. And if you guys have this book, I share this whole story in the opening article. But it kind of shows our thing. So we had an offer called Body Evolution, and we did the first test. We spent $5,000 we bought a $5,000 drop because I was like really confident. Like, oh, this is going to work awesome. I broke some rules. I did a horrible job of modeling another offer. Our fronted offer did not work, but I didn't know that at first. We bought this whole thing. We sent the email out. And we're waiting. Within a day, we looked at it and we hadn't even got close to break even. I'm like, oh. An email we usually will know within a couple hours, within a day if it's going to work or not. Within the end of the first day, I'm like, we weren't even close. So by the second day, you get some trickle through. By the third day, it was dead. I'm like, oh, that sucked. But what was awesome, and that's the best thing about this whole business we're in, you guys, this whole direct response business, what's cool is if you look in here, I I mapped out, I said, okay, here was our process, right? Here was our offer. Here's our funnel. I want to see if you guys, how fast you guys can see where the issue was, okay? So we drove everybody through a squeeze page, and the conversion on the squeeze page was 38%, okay? Then from there, we took them to our initial offer. I think it was $47, and our conversion was 0.76%. Okay, then from there, we took them to OTO number 1, which I can't remember the price point on. So our first upsell, OTO stands for one-time offer. So our first one-time offer, we got 25% conversion. Our second offer, we got 19% conversion. And our third offer, we got 16% conversion. We sent the email out. I was all frustrated. I was like, this sucks. I hate being in the biz ops, or the weight loss space. It doesn't work. This internet marketing thing's a big scam. I'm out, right? That's what most people do. Like, it drives me crazy. Or else I bought an ad and it didn't work. You're a scam artist. Like, serious? And so for a couple of days, I was just upset. I'm like, this didn't even work. I was just frustrated. And then I thought, I'm going to step back and see what happened. We stepped back. We looked at the numbers, looked at that. Is there anything blaringly obvious to anybody besides me? This did awesome. This did awesome. This did awesome. This did awesome. That sucked. That was it. There was one piece in the middle that was broken. I don't have to touch any of these or that. Everything else worked. But this little piece right here, it didn't work. So I got to just fix that. We tweak that, we fix that, it opens up the floodgates, right? And so the new version that we're rolling out next week is this, okay? I looked at this, our initial, the offer on this, it was very much like how to, and I would think at this point in my career, I would be pretty good at like not screwing this up. But the whole offer was like how to lose weight by like improving your mindset. Horrible offer. If anyone's thinking about doing that, don't do that. You can sell it on the back end like I talked about, but that's not a good front end offer. Front end is you need the fad, exciting, cool thing, okay? Skinny bean diet. Here's how to drink chocolate and lose tons of weight. Like something like that that's sexy on the front end. And I don't know the numbers yet, but I guarantee it's going to be higher than this, okay? So if I get this to 3% or 5%, at 5%, this funnel makes me $1 million a year, okay? And so it's just fixing that piece, trying it out again and see what happens. That makes sense, you guys? So that's why I love this game, because that's what it is. You create this funnel the best you possibly can. You buy some ads, and you look at it, and it either works out of the gate, you break even, you're like, awesome, break even, what can we do now to sell people on the back end? Or it doesn't work, you look at it, and you're like, what sucked about this? And if you can find and identify it, then you just tweak that, try again, and within 2 or 3 tries, usually we get it right, okay? And so hopefully that'll give you guys some encouragement. If you're in this process and something hasn't worked yet, if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean it's dead. It means there's something broken. But you just got to find that little piece. And as soon as you get that to work, everything else can start working for you. So this question was before ClickFunnels, where do you use to track every one of these pages? We were really unsophisticated. All we did is we looked at how many clicks we got. So in our click account, we got 1,000 clicks, let's say. How many opt-ins I got? I got 380 opt-ins. How many people bought that? One dude bought that. How many people bought this? Whatever that is. And I just looked at it. Like, it wasn't like some fancy. There's no like super good software that's just like, here's the whole thing. ClickFunnels will do that now. But before, it's just kind of like piecing it together. That's why it wasn't like I looked instantly. It was like a week later, I'm like, all right, what's wrong? Oh, cool. And I got so excited when I realized what was wrong. Okay. The other thing, this is a side note from a testing standpoint, which is kind of cool, is when we sent these emails out, and this is the same on banner ads and stuff like that, like just changing like your headline on your banner ad or the subject line of your email can change the whole campaign as well. So when Brent bought the solo ad for this, he said, what headlines do you want to test? And again, all these tests are in the split test book. But we put different headlines in. Like one of them was, it's not your fault. They're trying to make you, or they're making you fat or something like that, conspiracy theory based. And a couple other ones. And one of the headlines I threw in just almost like a joke. We put in 4 headlines. One of them was Carrie's dirty little weight loss secret. Okay. And anyway, we send the email out, and what was interesting is that email, the first email that gets subject line, let's say the email goes out to 100,000 people. Person number 1 gets headline number 1, number 2, and it rotates through and it starts over, right? So when all said and done, 250,000 or 200, whatever, a fourth of all those people got a different headline. And then we looked at the stats, and we found out that, so here's the email back here. Look at the stats, that it was like the 4 different headlines. One of the headlines had like 6 times more clicks than the other ones. 6 times more clicks. And so I looked at it, I was like, man, if that headline went to every email, we would have got an extra 2,000 clicks for free that we didn't get because the headline didn't capture people's attention. So the second email we sent out, we just used that, which increased the throughput on everything. Now what was cool is we found out Carrie's dirty weight loss secret, that got people excited enough to open an email and click, right? So what we did is we came back here now to the landing page. We changed the headline that we had before to find out what Carrie's dirty little weight loss secret is. And guess what? This shot up. More people opted in. And then the headline this is like, hey, this product's going to teach you Carrie's dirty little weight loss trick, and conversions went up there. So you can learn these little things along the way that you can take back and just, you find out this subject line works best, let's move that throughout the entire funnel. So his question was, if you find out email subject line works better or worse, how long do you wait to repeat the campaign? The reality is, as soon as Brent tells me I can try again, because it's not, like we were buying $5,000 ads. He's like, you don't get another one this month. I'm like, all right. And the next month, can I try again? Yeah, you can try it. That's part of it. The reality is like, especially if you, I know this from like doing joint ventures and stuff. I can send an email to my list promoting a product. I can send an email the next day promoting a product and get just as much or more money the second day as I did the first day. So you could, if you can just write the check a couple times, you could do it really quick and easy. I don't think the saturation happens that nearly. I mean, we did Dr. Suzanne's list we did for Neurocell, and we did it once and it crushed it. We did like a week later and it crushed it again. So like you can usually do it pretty quick. People's attention span is really short, especially if you're tweaking the subject line. Different people are going to respond. Some people, it's just, email is interesting because none of us read all of our emails every single day. So everyone that's getting it, there's only a fraction of people that get it every day anyway, and you're always hitting different people in different times, and it'll usually work multiple times before it stops working. So that's a great question. Okay, so that's some email stuff, and again, we'll get in the funnel part of this tomorrow, which will be really fun. But that's some of the core first thing, which is email. Just kind of put all this stuff in perspective. We're covering a lot. I think we're probably going deep in this session. So a couple things I want to talk about. Like I talked about traffic at the very beginning, right? The first thing we're talking about is who, their target market. The second thing is where are those people at, right? It always comes back to those two questions over and over and over again, right? If you can answer those two questions, you can make a bunch of money. Now for us in our company, if you look at what we do day in and day out, it starts with two things. The first thing I'm always looking for, after I've kind of done all this reverse engineering thing, first thing I'm personally looking for is what email lists can I buy ads in? Because that's my easiest, fastest one we talked about. My second one now, and this is why I love Facebook so much, is what other fan page, like where else on Facebook are these people at? I think for 99% of you guys, if you focus on just these two strategies and do anything else in traffic, you can make more money than you ever dream about. I would say right now from our traffic, I would say 90% of our traffic comes from one of these two sources right now. Okay, to put in perspective. So if you're looking at a lot of different things, like these are the two things. Okay, I like email because I can get an email test out really quick. I get a fast return, I find out. I like Facebook because, again, if I have a juicing offer, I'm going to go to Drew Canoli's site. I got 1 million fans. Instantly, I can target those people, and in 5 seconds, my ad's in front of them, so I can get things going really fast. I can start a lot cheaper a lot of times. I can test things out really fast. We can try a bunch of things. But that's like the majority of where most of our traffic comes from. Okay, so if you're wondering, like, where should I focus? Where should my efforts be? It'd be mastering those two things, in my humble yet accurate opinion. Just kidding. So that would be the first two. Now from there, as an entrepreneur, when I mastered these, not before, because I don't want, the biggest thing, like I talked about earlier, is that today? This is still the first day, right? Man. Like I talked about earlier today, just like when you are publishing your attractive character, right? You can, like you don't want to be in a million, like, I don't want to be doing Facebook and YouTube and like, if you have too much stuff, you're so spread out, you can't do it. Okay, I talked about you have to have email and at least one of those other platforms to be focusing on. Advertising, the same thing. These are the two core platforms you should be focusing on. Now, after you've really figured these things out, you're successfully doing great with them. Now you can start dabbling into other things. The next ones I start looking at are like the banner ads, right? Like we showed you at the very beginning. Okay, now I know what sites these people are on. Now let me buy banner ads on those sites as well. Okay, where else are these people at? They're banner ads. Okay, so start moving into banner ads. The next thing after I do banner ads I might look at is YouTube. Okay, you ever watch a video on YouTube and you click play and all of a sudden this annoying commercial comes up and you're like, you're waiting, and then you finally skip it and watch your video? Okay, I got friends making insane amounts of money doing YouTube ads like that. They find a video in their niche that's already getting millions and millions of views and they just buy the ad right on top of that video. Okay, now we don't personally do that yet. We're going to start doing that soon. But I would say that would, in my level of what I would focus on, that might be number 4 is YouTube ads. Okay?
Do you still do that, YouTube?
Yeah. All the time, yeah. If you guys know watch videos and all of a sudden you click, I'm always excited, hey kids, come watch this video, click play and there's an ad. And I'm like, Yeah, and what's interesting right now, I believe, again, we're not doing these actively, so I don't know exactly, but last I heard, and they may have changed this, I don't think they have yet though, is you only pay if somebody watches that entire thing. If they watch 5 seconds of it and then click skip, you don't pay a penny. Okay, so if you have a really quick ad with a quick call to action at the very beginning and someone watches and they skip through it, it's free. Okay, so that's what a lot of my friends right now are just killing. We're focusing so much right here that I don't want to divert attention and focus. Some of you guys, that may be your thing. YouTube might be your channel that you're in love with, just like I'm in love with email. And if that's the case, like study and immerse and become awesome at that, because it's not that complicated to figure out. You just got to go figure it out, right? So you got YouTube, you got podcasts, same thing. There's podcasts in your space. You can go and buy sponsorships in people's podcasts. Okay, these are a bunch of juicing podcasts here. Find these guys, find out how much to be sponsored, and suddenly your ad can be showing up in all these different podcasts. His podcast might get 100,000 listeners. You might pay $300 and your ad is in there. So those 100,000 people are all going to hear your 30-second little jingle, just like a radio show. Okay? So there's a ton of different places, to start buying ads. And so after you master these and start going through and you want to find out where else, there's literally unlimited places. Okay? Twitter's another one that's hot right now. There's anywhere that your market's at, you can buy ads. And because of that is why a lot of people never get successful. That's why the internet marketing world works so good. Is everyone's selling the new hot product about the new cool way to get traffic, right? Every single day. It keeps happening. From my personal experience doing this for over a decade now, these are the two I would focus on initially. Master these two, and then start picking out other ones when you want to. And if not, maybe pick this in YouTube maybe. Whatever one, like if you hate Facebook, but you like YouTube, maybe it's email and YouTube. But these are like the two core ones I'd focus on, then all the rest of them. Okay, don't get caught up in the shiny thing of like, oh great, Twitter's the hottest new thing in the world. Maybe it is, but until you master the fundamentals, don't focus on the new shiny object. Keep focusing on one thing at a time, then we can move in. Okay, I've been doing this a decade now, I still haven't had time to venture into YouTube. I want to, it's a sexy, shiny thing. Everyone's talking about my friends making millions on it. I'm like, that'd be so cool. I gotta focus on what I'm good at, and eventually I'll get to there, but not today. Okay? And hopefully this will help you guys when you're trying to make any decision on what you're investing in, other products people are selling, is just look at that like, in my business, do I need this right now? Okay, why in the world is someone buying a huge traffic course if they don't have a product yet? Let's focus on your product. Then you can go buy your traffic course. But right now, let's focus on just the step that you need. Okay, so that's kind of the core stuff we wanted to cover today. Again, today's the theme behind today was Ignite, like all the stuff you need to do to get started on your business. Okay, if you look at what we covered so far, the first thing we talked about today obviously was a secret formula and kind of reverse engineering what you need to create to build the business of your lifestyle, right? Or how to take what you've got and how to really map that out to the point where we know exactly who we want, the people we want to be focusing on, how to get them and get them working with us. Okay, the second thing we talked about was the attractive character. Who here had some like ahas with attractive character? Like, wow, that's really cool. I can just tweak my own personality and more people are going to come to me. Okay, that's a big part, and I hope you guys took that to heart and really understood the power behind that, because just changing how you present yourself will change how many people come to you all day long. I was talking to Joey about this during the break. Like, just changing your attractive character will give you the ability to double, triple, quadruple your prices. Like that, like just that little thing is crazy. How much the perception of what people think you are and how much they'll pay for your time. Okay, so that's a big part. Next, we talked about how to spend more than your competitor. Talked about building out a value ladder, having front ends, have back ends, having all these things. So we have a business that we can actually spend money to drive traffic, so we can break even on the front, so we can build a list, and so we can start making money. And then the last thing we talked about is just the concept behind traffic. So you guys can understand how traffic is out there, and all we have to do as entrepreneurs is find where that's at. We find out what email lists they're on, and we're buying ads. We find out where on Facebook they're hanging out, and we're putting our message out in front of them. Okay, it comes back to the initial picture we showed. The very first thing I showed when we started this, okay, is finding out where these people are at. I know what email lists they're on. I know what Facebook groups they're on. I know what sites I know what YouTube videos they're watching. I know where they're at. Now I just got to throw my bait out there. Throw my bait out there, and I can start pulling in my dream customers all day long. That makes sense, you guys? I know we covered a lot of stuff, but it should really come down to this picture's it. This is like it in a nutshell. Everything we've done today in a nutshell. Who is the person I really, really want to work with? Where are those people at? What's the bait I need to get them? And then where do I want to take these guys after I get them? Okay, so if nothing else today, that's kind of the core I wanted you guys to really get out of this.